Welcome to the Traditional Bow Hunting Wilderness Podcast. This is Jason Samkovic. Today we're going to talk about setting up your camper when you get to wherever you are. Here we're in an off-site location. You can see my wife is actually coating the dogs down with some stuff to keep the ticks off them, because we are out here in the middle of nowhere. And it's kind of a place we come to. It's just a little tucked away. They used to have an oil well here back in the day. There's still some parts there. That's what they cleared this out for. But we are on public land out here. We love it at this spot. But when you're setting up your RV, then you get to a spot, there's some things you want to do, and there's a certain order you want to do them in. So I'm going to run you through it real quick, so you can make sure things. Couple little things I did right off the bat when I pulled in. I brought a weed whacker with me, and I put some long line on the end of it so that I could clear all this out. You can see we got this nice cutout weed whacked area here. Not that this was too bad, but it helps again with the ticks and clears it all down nice and low. So I did that. We were expecting the grasses to be higher, like you're seeing farther over there where it's knee high. That's what we were thinking it was going to be, but you can see we cleared that out real good. So weed whacker comes in real handy for a lot of places. You can see we forgot our stakes that hold down the corners of our things, so we had to put rocks on there, but normally we have stakes that go in the corner. Don't forget those, because that makes life a lot easier when you have them. But so when you first pull up, the first thing I do is I'm looking as I'm driving, and we pulled into here. You can see my tire tracks where a truck was, but as I pull, I'm watching the top of that thing wobble, and as it comes through here, and I'm looking for a spot where it's going to hit about level. Once it does, I actually pull my level. I keep a level in here, and I just do it the simple way, but I take this level right here, and I open the door up, and I lay it right on the floor, right in there, and I can look at my level there in that middle bubble and see that that's leveled out. Once I know I got it leveled, I'm good. Usually on this type of terrain, I can either pull back or pull forward a little bit, but I actually nailed it perfectly this time. I didn't have to move at all, just by watching the window, and it was perfect. Then when I disconnect, I come over here and I set it on here, and you can see that we are about level right there. Perfect, just like that. So you can do that leveling adjustment. Once you get it set side to side, if you have to, you can use these yellow blocks here. That's what I got 2 sets of them for. I'm using them as stabilizers because I don't need them, but I could put them under a wheel to lift or tip to rotate this trailer either way to get it level. But you want it very close to level so that your refrigerator and everything works good. So I do that, and then I can level the front to back of this trailer with just the tongue jack right here. So I built my own block down there. You can see a couple 4x6s, just some scrap wood I had laying around, and I built it. But that's the block I use right there to level out on. And but I got everything set and level. That's the first thing you do. Next thing I want to do is I want to go and I want to chuck all these tires. Okay, you want to chuck them, because if you disconnect and it rolls, you're going to be in trouble. So I use chucks. Yes, I use the cheap plastic ones. There's bigger, better ones too as well, but these work just fine. But I chuck all 4 wheels all the way around, so that way the thing is set and not going to go anywhere. Once I have it chucked, then it is safe for me to disconnect the trailer. So then I can actually disconnect it. I use what is it called? Equalizer 4 hitch is what I use on my truck. These are the 2 crossbars that go from here to there for the stabilizers. I just lay them right there out of the way and leave them sit right there. That's where they stay at. You can see I got gloves that sit right here. That's so I don't get all dirty when I'm actually handling the hitch. But I set that right there, and I can disconnect everything. I tend to keep the plug that you'll see here. This is my plug for the cord for my trailer. I keep it underneath here. I don't want it out and exposed. So when I pull this off, I do not use this and open these up to get to the propane tanks. I just lift this whole tank right off, twist my knob, and then I make sure my plug is under there, so that if it does rain or anything like that, it's just not getting on the plug. Just a simple little precautionary thing I do. But then the next thing to do is the stabilizers. Okay, so for setting the stabilizers, you can use blocks. These are cheap. These blocks, they work fantastic. I have them on all sides. But what I do to make life easier, rather than using that wrench that comes with this, I don't even know where mine is. It's in here someplace, buried in the back. Somewhere back in here I have it, but instead I use this. I'll put a link below for you if you want, but I use this drill right here, and just an impact gun. It's got a 19mm socket designed for this on here, but with this on here, you can hit these. Look at how nice and smooth and fast that is. Put them where you want them, and that's it. Done. Sweet and easy. So this thing just works like gold. And over there on the other side, way over there, you can see I got the charger in the corner, so I can charge this battery up every couple of times. I charge it basically every 3-4 times I use it. Every 3 or 4 times we can't, just so it stays charged. I got a little tool bucket right here with all the spare parts and everything that I could need in there. Just makes life easy. Rubber gloves, easy access right there for if I got to do any of the sewage stuff. And I got an electrical bucket. I got a water hose bucket right there, these milk crates. And just spare parts. I had to use another one of these under my block. You can see I got one more right here to stabilize that block, otherwise it was falling down there. So little stabilizer wood pieces, things like that. I keep a couple of pieces of the 2x8 or 2x10s in there too, just spares. They come in real handy for when you're setting up and then get you all together. But you can see, so then we go around and we hit all 4 stabilizers. Okay, when I hit all 4 stabilizers, the next thing I'm looking for is I'm making sure that this slide unit, there is nothing here, no trees, no anything. I know that this is basically, as long as my arm, if I can touch there, it goes to the middle of my back. Okay, so I know how far I gotta be distance wise. That's my simple gauge. But making sure that you have enough room where when you put that slide out, you're not going to interfere with anything. So once I know that and I got my stabilizers down, I hook up my power. My power goes to a generator out here. Again, we are off grid. I put that generator farther away from my camper, so as far as I can, so I don't have to listen to it as much. Okay, obviously it's running right now. It's a very quiet little Predator generator, and it does an incredible job. Listen how quiet that is. So it works fantastic, but still keeping it away from the trailer is a good thing. So I use the whole length of my power cord, and I also have it cable locked right here. I'll put a link to this cable on there. Get it right on Amazon. It's not expensive. It's 30-foot cable, and I feed it right through the bumper like this. Sweet and easy, and it works. But now if we leave to go somewhere, nobody's stealing my my generator out of there. And then this is my sewage stuff, which I'm not getting into because I have the keys inside, but I don't have to mess with it right now because I'm actually not running sewer here. I'll dump when I get back. Again, we're off grid, and so we're just going to keep it all in the tanks, and when I get back by my house, there's a place I can actually hit my dump valves at. So we're okay with that right now. Now, as far as the next thing you want to do is you need to set up your water. Okay, well, first you put your slide out. That's what I do. So you come inside, and you're going to hit your slide button here. Before you hit your slide and you run out your slide, there's that tick spray I was telling you about. Good stuff right there. Sawyer's, it's permethrin. It works like a champ. But anyway, so before you hit your slide and run your slide out, you want to make sure that there is nothing that is caught back here between this zone, when the slide is in. Same with on this side over here. Hang on, sorry, sweetie. She's cleaning things up. But same here, between this gap, as this slide is out here, you want to make sure nothing is stuck in there or caught. You can see we had a couple mouse traps in here. Luckily, we didn't. They're all still full. We didn't have any mice, but we keep them in here. But if one of these were to get behind this slide, it could knock that thing off track. So you always want to make sure that nothing is behind that slide and that nobody is on it. My dog Riley, she's probably okay to be on there, lightweight, but you don't want anything on there or anybody on it when you're moving it. So you double check both sides, make sure nothing's there. Make sure, like when mine is open, when this slide is in, this slide comes out to about right here, somewhere in there. And if this door were open like that and it caught that, it would rip this apart and could knock it off the slide, off this track. So you want to make sure everything is clear of the slide. Then you can go ahead and run your slide out. Once you run your slide all the way out and you're done and set there, next thing I do is the water pump. Okay, I want to turn on my water pump. That's going to get water flowing in here, so you can get to take care of the toilets, the sinks. Run them for a second. Make sure you got all the antifreeze out of them if it's your first time of the year that you're doing it. And then once you have water built up, you may have to turn on your hot water tank. Mine is under there. For my hot water tank, I have to make sure I got water going to it. Now, this is important. Hot water. Here is your water heater outside the water heater. Okay, see how that is still off? It is off on purpose because this takes a quick second of prep work so you don't screw something up. Now, if it was winterized and your plug was out, which I had to winterize mine because of a freak stupid storm or a cold weather snap, so I just had to put this back in. So that's what this is for here. So I had that out because I had it winterized, but you're going to put your plug back in right there. Mine, and most of them I know of, take a 1 1/16 inch socket. And since I always carry a 3/8 drive set with me, I just put mine. I bought a 1/2 inch socket and I put it on a reducer right there that goes from 1/2 inch to 3/8. And that allows me to keep this in my inside toolkit. And I have this just always handy. But I put that plug back in. Once that plug is in and set, now I'm still, if you look here, turned off. That is still in the off position. I let this fill up with water. This is a relief valve. This is a pressure relief valve. I want water to come out of this. Now, the first few times I'm pulling it, it's just going to be air. I already did, but now, see how I got water coming out? That means that my hot water tank is full of water and ready. At that point, and only that point, if it's just air coming out, you want to keep working this till it fills up enough, gets rid of the air pressure, and you have water coming out. At that point, I am now okay to turn on my pump out here, and then I can go into here and I can turn the water heater on the inside. So having both switches is kind of a fail-safe, and I always work it that way. So now I can come here, turn that on, and now we have, see how it says fault right there? It's because it's trying to fire. It's going to say fault until that thing actually kicks in and fires and the propane gets through the line, and it doesn't, but that will clear itself out. But it is actually up and running. You can hear it if you listen. That is the igniter trying to fire, but right now it's just got a lot of air in the line, so it's got to get through there. Right, are we going? Oh, we're not going yet, so it'll try it again in a minute, and it'll run. But that'll take care of itself and get the hot water up and running. Here it is again. You can hear it running. And you want to make sure you turn the propane on. I told you that up at the front, and we're still not hitting there. It might even be out of propane. I'll have to check. But at any rate, that's how that works. And you set up the water. So now once you have all that set, let me actually see if I can check this real quick. And see, nope, we got gas. We got gases. And gas is open. Gas is on all the way. So we got gas on. So that should be kicking in here any minute. But you want to make sure that's the real only dangerous spot of this that you could screw something up. Because if you do this too early and you don't do this the right way, then what can happen is you can burn out the elements in there, and you don't want to have that happen. So that's why you want to make sure you got the water coming out of there, everything set and safe and ready. So that'll kind of get you set there. Once you have that done, then you want to make sure your refrigerator is on. Okay, you have a light on the top of it with some switches. Make sure your fridge is on, and then you are free and ready to set up your chairs, ready to do some camping, ready to get yourself in business. Now out here where we are, I do not have running water out here, so I had to fill my tank. Okay, on my tank, I filled. Actually, I'll be right back and show you. All right, sorry, wanted to take a second to make sure I was working, but now this is working. I can feel the heat coming out of it. That is up, firing up and loading, so now I can cover this. But I wanted to pause for a minute, just make sure everything was good. It just needed one more cycle, again, having some air in the propane line probably. Now, there we go, we are set. Now, the other thing that you can do too, that's a good idea, we're gonna head inside here. Gunner, you're staying out. Gunner, get down, come on, get down. Is going to be let me set this in here. Nice little toolkit, very worth having. Okay, make sure you have this. This one, I have a full kit in my truck, but this one stays with me here inside all the time. This is a very beneficial tool because it runs nails, brad nails, 18 gauge brad nails. Because as if you watch my other videos, you know that all this trim in this place is pure garbage and crap is popping off all the time. So that just makes it really nice to not have to grab a compressor. Now, once you're in here, so you get your fridge on, you can see it up there. You got switches on your refrigerator for gas, power, what you want to do. I got it set on auto, so it's running on electric. If the electric goes off, it will switch itself to gas automatically, and it is turned on. So you want to make sure that's good. Next thing you should do, if you are going to use your stove, is going to be to open your stove, and you want to purge these lines. Here's your igniter. Here are your valves. So you're going to take this, turn it on to light right there. And I'm going to fire that a few times. See how it's kicking back there, but it's not starting up yet? That's because there's air. It goes because there's air in the lines. Okay? So then I go to this one. I'm firing that one. That fired. Go to this one. Fire that one. So now they fired, and then you would do the same with the oven. We're not going to be using the oven, so I'm not worried about it right now, but you could do that too. But now you let those run for 10 seconds. and let that get that air out of the propane line. You know, it just cleans them. So now those are 100% ready to go. Let it cool for a minute before you close your cover. And that's it. And as you can see, camper is set, things are out, windows are open, stuff is going in the fridge, chairs are unstrapped, and life is good. So there's really not a lot to it to getting set up. It takes realistically about 10 minutes to do everything I said. If you have this type of a ladder like we do, I love the step setup. You can adjust the output of the legs by pulling this pin right here, and these legs extend out so you can get it the exact height you want. And that's it. That's all there is really to it, to setting up a trailer and getting it into position. Now when we pack up, maybe I'll continue this video and do a pack up for you so you know what order to do everything in there. But it doesn't matter if you're doing it at a campsite or if you're doing it in a boondocking setup like this. It's the same concept. The only difference is at a campsite, you're probably hooking up your water hose, which is super simple to do. You have your water outlets on the other side, and I will show you that. And let me cover my propane tank back up just while we're right here, because I got that. I need two hands. We'll do that in a minute. Right here is my freshwater connection. So I'm pouring water straight from a hose into here. That's how we have water out here right now. For you, you would just turn your hose and your filter right into this setup right here, and then run it right to your spigot at the campsite. You do want to run, I have one on here. See this filter here? Hang on, let me pull it around so you can see it. Pull this whole thing, but this filter right here, you want to run one of them filters, okay? That way you keep the water clean and pure. And you also want to run, which is on my other one. No, right here. This is actually a regulator, okay? This regulates the flow of water coming out so that if I get a spike or high water, it's not going to hurt my lines. Again, things I'll put a link down to for you below. They're not expensive, but definitely worth having. Makes life a lot easier. But so you'll hook up your fresh water here, connect that in, and then you'll hook up your sewer line. You're going to connect and run your slinky out here and run that and drop that in. So real simple, easy stuff to do. That's why I put this box on the back right here. That's where I keep all my sewer stuff is, right here. So it does not have to go into my compartments. I bought this case, this toolbox, and I just U-bolt clamped it right on there. I took a piece of 1-inch metal from Home Depot and I just clamped it right on, and now that sits there and that holds all my sewer and wastewater crap, so it's not on the inside or go anywhere near any of my water lines or anything like that. So just a sweet, simple, easy setup. And you make sure if you're trying to buy a new camper, getting a new truck or anything like that, definitely check out my courses in the description below. Got my bow hunting whitetails course. I have the Save Thousands course, which will teach you how to save a tremendous amount of money. $40,000 trailer. I got it for $20,800 out the door, taxes, everything, and done. Brand new. Bought it 1 year ago, and it's been a fantastic one. But if it wasn't for the stuff I teach in that course, I would have never got that deal. And now that course has been out for probably, I want to say maybe 5 months, 6 months, and people are just eating it up, and they're saving so much money on all their purchases. So it is available for you. Definitely check it out in the description below. Comment if you have any questions, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. So, all right, thanks for watching. We'll be back with more soon. All right, bye.